talking stress, only work, it kinda vicious, like somebody taking pictures, shut it down.
What's up, you guys? I'm Tater Gemini, and welcome to the podcast Unpopular Opinion, where on this podcast, we will discuss relationships, the everyday struggles of our generations, healing, and much more. This podcast can and will be full of unpopular opinions, but hey, unpopular opinions can't hurt, right? So with that being said, stay tuned, because this podcast starts now. You guys, I'm Tater Gemini, and welcome to my podcast, Unpopular Opinion. And on today's episode, I have a special guest for you guys, Elisa. Want to say what's up to the camera, Elisa?
What's good, y'all?
So, today's episode is called Healing from Instilled Trauma. Sounds very interesting. So, before we get into the episode, I like to play a game with my special guest. And today's game is Would You Rather?
Here she go, y'all.
Here we go. So, we're going to hop straight into the game. No, we ain't wasting no time around here.
Okay.
Alright, so my first Would You Rather. You ready?
I'm ready, girl. I'm ready.
Alright. Would you rather switch on your day one bitches or get a luxury life for the rest of your life?
I ain't switching on my friends.
Period. Because I figured you would. You
Never.
Know what I'm saying?
We falling around here.
All y'all who was thinking she better choose luxury life, y'all ain't got no more. Would you feel me? Alright, so my next Would You Rather. Would you rather date a sex addict
You know, some
or
bullshit.
someone with a low sex drive?
I don't know. I feel like if I really like the person, then a high sex drive.
A high sex drive? I agree. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, free.
I gotta date somebody with a high sex drive. Hey, mama, scroll on past.
Yeah, you don't want to hear what she say.
This ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? All right. My next Would You Rather. Would you rather be alone for the rest of your life or save someone's life?
Say someone.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely
say
agree.
somebody.
Nobody want to be alone. All right, y'all. So, would you rather not shower for a week or wear the same clothes for a week?
Wear the same clothes. I'm gonna wash them hoes.
Do you hear me? The same outfit 2 days. It's a re-rock. Do you hear me? All right. So the next one say, would you rather have sex with the lights on or off?
Off.
I'm
shy.
You shy? You know it don't matter to me. You can keep them lines.
Oh my
god. All right, y'all. The next one is: would you rather have an annoying high-pitched voice or a manly deep voice?
What's good, baby?
Girl, that wasn't even deep.
I definitely do the high pitch annoying voice.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna have to do the deep one. I'm coming like Glorilla. Like, you know, gotta come like Glorilla with it. Alright, my next one is: would you rather time travel to see your ancestors or time travel to see your future grandkids?
What they say, FTK.
Fuck them kids!
Yeah, I want to see my ancestors. I got a lot of questions.
I feel that. I agree. I definitely want to go see my ancestors because, like, what the fuck was y'all doing? That's all I know. Tell me what was going on. All right. So the last question.
Look at me. What did they say?
It's kind of sweet, y'all, since Valentine's Day coming up. So, would you rather find your true love or find a suitcase of $5 million in?
You know, girl, I'm really on some fuck love type shit right now.
Not the suitcase.
I just play now. I would definitely like to find my true love. I feel like real love is rare. Like,
yeah, I agree. It's real hard to find love nowadays. Our generation, we be tweaking.
Hell yeah.
We be tweaking.
You know, me and my true love, we gonna make $5 million together.
Yeah, run it up. Alright, y'all, so we're going to get straight into this episode. Like I said, this episode is called Healing from Instilled Trauma, specifically Growing Up Black. What y'all know about growing up black? You know what I'm saying? We had a lot of struggles growing up black, but we're going to touch on a few within this episode. And yeah, let's get straight into it. Ooh. So, speaking of growing up black, we all know how it's crazy because, like, we all kind of had the same childhood. Now that we older, looking back, like, on TikTok and shit like that, we all had the same ass childhood, like dead ass.
My upbringing was most definitely similar.
Similar as fuck. Like we had the same, like similar. We had like similar struggles and shit like that. So yeah. So can you give me an example of? Tell me you was raised in a black household without telling me you was raised in a black household.
You got McDonald's money.
Real quick, you got
McDonald's money. Turn them damn lights off.
Hell yeah.
So.
Mine is I seen this on TikTok, y'all. So when it be like it's storming outside and your grandma tell you, shut up, let God work.
Turn them lights off.
Let's listen to God work.
That's so true. Man,
it's crazy how we all had like similar upbringings, like you said. So we gonna dive into the straight, juicy shit. So our parents, let's just get up on our parents. You know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing to the parents that's watching, but we gotta address it. Like I feel like it's time to just vent and say what we need to say. So we just gonna, just widely throw it out there. The trauma that parents pass down to us, like. Yes. Have you ever experienced certain traumas? Like, what are some traumas that you feel like now that you're an adult that parents pass down to you?
Oh Lord. I feel like, and I like that you mentioned now that I'm an adult, because that's when I really realized, I do have childhood trauma. Like I've heard it before. I heard the term. I heard shadow work. But I wasn't as knowledgeable to what it meant, how you get it or things of that sort. But now that I'm older, I realize I have a lot, and the key ones that I do struggle with and am currently working on would definitely be my abandonment issues. I have really, really, really bad. Girl, so bad. And sometimes it's embarrassing to say it because people can use that to an advantage over you.
Yes.
But I have really bad abandonment issues, and I'm getting vulnerable, so y'all better not try and come for me.
Period.
But also, I really struggle with communication with expressing myself. I didn't grow up in a household where it was a safe environment to do so.
Right.
I wasn't encouraged to do so. So as I got older, I noticed like I struggled to communicate in my friendships. I struggled to communicate in my relationships. And I was like, that's because I never got that, that space to do so.
Right.
Yeah, that would be my biggest too.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I feel like the abandonment one is like right on the nose, and I did not notice it until like a year ago. Like dealing with relationships and how I always want that person to choose me, and I feel like all that shit root from me not feeling chosen growing up, so to say. Like this ain't nothing to my mama or nothing like that, but I feel like I wasn't really chosen in a lot of ways. Like how we grow up in a household when it's your parents have a significant other. And that person always kind of come before you. Then me specifically growing up in a house full of boys, man, because my big sister was gone, we 10 years apart. I feel like my mama just was like sheltering them, and like they was getting like the easy end of the stick, and I'm over here getting my ass chewed out for her. Like I'm getting more tough love than the boys. And just to jump straight into that, like let's just go ahead and switch it over. One thing that mothers do is shelter their boys.
They coddle their sons. Oh my God. And I feel like sometimes if you address that with a woman that has kids, they take offense to it.
Yes.
And men take offense to us telling them like you're just coddled. But honestly, that's the God-given truth. Like women raise their daughters to be independent so they won't have to need somebody.
Right.
It's okay to need somebody. Like I used to praise myself for being independent. I don't want to be independent no more. Like help me. I need some help. Yes. Like I'm tired now. Like I shouldn't be this exhausted and I'm only 24.
Right.
Like, I want to be able to depend on somebody. Like I want to be able to have that safe space with somebody. But women, I feel like they raise their sons to not have that mindset, to have that mindset of like, if you get into some trouble or you need help, you got mama. You always got mama.
Yeah.
That's not fair to the girls.
Right. And I like I said, I personally experienced that. Like I get into it with my mama. It's you can get out. You do this, and like I said, my mama. I had a great mama growing up, but she did make some mistakes. Like I feel like when it came to the girls, like I said, even me and my sister, we caught like I'm finna drill your ass type shit all the time.
Tough love.
But with the tough love, but with the boys, it just wasn't that. Like it was a different approach. And I feel like that even how parents, mothers specifically, raise their boys and coddle them, like you said, that kind of go over to relationships and shit. Like, I see it all the time. Men now in our generation specifically, they not in a place at all. Like, at all. Yeah, no. And I feel like it comes from the parents. Like, so I'm gonna just give an example. I had a boyfriend in high school. You know what I'm saying? Story time. So I had a boyfriend or whatever in high school, and so I'm downstairs with my boyfriend, this and that. I guess he was finna leave or something like that. I don't know the specific of the situation because it was a long time ago. But all I know is he said, "I love you," finna leave out the house, you know? And his mama basically like called him to the stairwell or whatever. And I guess they was slightly getting into it. And she gonna say something, well, you tell her you love her and you ain't told me in months. I must have raised up so motherfucking fast. I'm like, that lady is sick. Cause those are two different type of loves. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that's and like I said, I ain't gonna say no names and shit, but when you see this, you know who you are. You can't be doing that shit. Like, and that's where mothers, like, I don't know if they try to, like, I get it can be difficult raising a boy. Because you got to try to raise him to where, like, the man that you know, want him to be. But he not your boyfriend. Like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, I feel like it cross over. Like, sometimes, as a mom, or I'm not a mom, I shouldn't say as a mom, but I feel like mothers sometimes, they have the approach of raising their sons and getting the love from them that they didn't get from their previous relationships. So they look at their sons like, hey, this boy or this, you know, my son is gonna be the man that's gonna always love me because this is my son. But I feel like it's just come from a lack of affection or love that they didn't get, either whether it was from when they were kids or if it was from like a relationship that they were in. Right. And I feel like sometimes it can go over into the child's or her son's relationship, but it's like you can't do that because that's two different relationships. That's boundaries. Like, you know, your son love you, but he can also love his girlfriend. Right. You know, it shouldn't be a competition in that area.
It shouldn't be a competition in that area. And I feel like even being in high school, we're not saying that his mother's not my mama. You know what I'm saying? But simply hearing it, like, they kind of make me overthinking more relationships. Like, I don't want to do too much because I don't want, you know, the mama thinking, you know. So parents really just got to get to a point where they being cognizant of what they saying and how they approaching shit. Like, because at the end of the day, that we got to heal from that type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are things we got to heal from. But just to jump right into another little snippet of a topic, because we can talk about this shit for hours, literally, like, hours. But yeah, I wanted to touch on like mamas being or parents being jealous of their children. Like, I haven't personally experienced it, but I feel like having friends and shit like that, such a wide range of friends, going to college, knowing so many people, I've literally seen like mothers be jealous of their daughters or downplay their daughters or do little small shit to hurt their child feelings, all because you like giving kind of jealousy or bitterness.
I've never experienced this, but I know people that have experienced, and I've seen people talk about their own stories and share their own stories. And I feel like my perspective is like, sometimes parents can be a bit envious to what their child has going on. And I feel like more so, it should come from a place of like you being proud of your kid for doing the extra mile or being in whatever position that they in. But it's like, you shouldn't look at it like, I didn't get to do that. Like, why are you doing that? You're trying to be grown. You trying to, what the hell say? You trying to be too fast, or you trying to live life too fast. And it's like, you also just have to be mindful of how you talk to your kids, because what you say to them like sticks in their head. Like, you gonna always have that first impression on your child. So like, if you telling me I'm being fast, but you saying it in like an envious way, like, I'm always remember that.
And tell me why. Like, explain to me why I'm being fast, what I'm doing, what I should be doing. And I feel like it all goes back to like communication and things like that. Like, and as far as like the jealousy aspect of it, just simply be proud of your children. Like, I feel like that's another thing. Like, just being proud of us can go a long ass way. Like, genuinely proud. And that's one thing, like I said, I want to shout out to my mama about, because that's my number one fan. Like, I feel like I've never.
That's so cute.
I swear, I feel like I've never expressed or experienced her being envious to me. Like, I feel like if anything, she lived through me type shit.
Yeah.
Like, and my mama a very religious woman. Like, she's very spirited. Like,
what y'all doing at that club?
Yeah, she just be like, what y'all doing at that club? Like, this and this and that. So I feel like she happy that I'm experiencing things that she didn't experience type thing. Like, it's never coming from a place of jealousy. So I feel like I'm grateful that I've never experienced that. But seeing that shit with my friends, mamas, and the shit that they be, I be like, your mama did not say that shit to you.
Do you also think it stemmed from a place of like parents having in their head like, I had to stop my life early because I had you when I was young, so it's like I'm bitter about not living my life, but it's coming out as being envious.
Yes, okay. I see that a lot. I feel like, and we're gonna get to that later on in the show, I feel like parents were still learning. Yeah. And it's obviously obvious, but I feel like also parents try to make it seem like we owe you that, or like we caused you to stop your life. Like, there's always choices, you know what I'm saying? Even if you know, abortions, give me away, like, I ain't saying they the right choices or good choices, but there's always choices, or not just have sex at all. Like, I didn't make you have sex and have me. And I feel like I said, we're gonna touch on it later in the show, but I feel like for sure, like, a lot of parents be bitter that they didn't finish their life, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the message out to all the parents that's watching this is like, you gotta heal from it at some point. You gotta break those generational curses, because I'm sure like your mama stopped. And I know for our generation, our parents was having us at like young, 16, 17, like my big sister, my mom had my big sister at 16. So I know for a fact she was still learning. Like, you know, like, so I'm not mad at it, but I feel like at some point we gotta break those generational curses, and that trauma, we gotta start healing from it and noticing it and going to therapy and doing the shit that we supposed to do.
Because you know, black people don't think that you're supposed to go to therapy, and that bothers me. But
it's like, especially growing up in a black household, like, they don't. When you tell them, like, express some shit to your parents, like, long time ago, I really want y'all to sit back and just think. Like, when we was growing up, high school, middle school, and all them temper tantrums and fits and shit, we was having them moments in the room crying and trying to figure out the fuck what's going on with us. That shit ain't just hormones, or that shit ain't just, she just, you know, she started her period last week.
Anxiety,
like,
depression,
that shit be anxiety, depression, ADHD.
All types of stuff.
Yes, and our parents always like, well, it ain't no wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they shoot it away a lot. And when we should have been in fucking therapy, especially specifically black people and women. Yes, we got so much shit we deal with. We should have been in therapy. Like, our parents should have been in therapy, but it's not. It's now like becoming normal. Yes, but we should have been.
I love the mental health awareness that our generation has, because I feel like our generation kind of sparked it because of what was going on with everybody's mental health. Like, I feel like now it's not looked down upon for somebody to vocalize that they're going through something. Like, at one point it was like, oh, you crazy, or it's something wrong with you. But now it's like, no, like, mental health is real. It's nothing to be ashamed about.
I feel like it's getting better now too, because we all getting older for one this generation, because we coming up together, and that shit starting to smack our ass like mink. So now the shit like, oh bitch, you was dealing with that shit too. I ain't embarrassed, you know. And that's another thing. We a generation that's speaking up on shit. You gotta understand that we getting on social media, we calling that shit for what it is. Like, we figuring shit out for ourselves. So that's another reason why I feel like mental health not like. It's expanded, like focusing on the mental health as black people.
And I like that.
I like it too. I feel like it's just helpful. Like, it make you feel normal. Like, okay, I'm not the only one going through this. Like, I'm not the only one.
And it help you call out those childhood traumas. Yes. Like, it help you really give a deep dive into yourself. Like, I feel like one thing that as humans that we kind of struggle to do is really look in the mirror. Like, sometimes we portray ourselves to be a certain way, but we can't face ourselves in the mirror because we too afraid of what the next person might think about us. But that childhood trauma, if you really dive deep into what made you like this or what caused you to have these feelings, like, you'll feel a lot lighter. Like, get down to the bottom of it. Like, a lot of y'all are running from y'allselves. Y'all gonna have to make a U-turn at one point.
Do you hear me?
You better figure out if you want to make a long jog back or a short jog back.
Yes,
You better do it.
To like piggyback off of what you said, like that shit, we realizing it, to a point, whether you saying that shit out loud or you figuring that shit out in your head. Like I realized it personally through like friendships, platonic ones, platonic relationships as a whole. Like I figured that shit out. Like even just being mad all the time, you know what I'm saying? Like I always, my friends, well, in college, I noticed it. Like, my friends be like, you got a short ass temper, this and that. You can't be walking around always mad or thinking you can beat somebody ass all the time. Like, and I'm like, the fuck? Because I can.
Yes, the fuck I can.
Because that's just how I am. And I had to really sit down as I was getting older, like, towards the end of my college career. I had to really sit down, like, damn, where did I get all this anger from, or what am I actually mad about, or what do I actually gotta prove, or why do I feel like I gotta fight, or why do I feel like I gotta be this tough ass Tony? But I feel like that shit all come back to childhood. Like I was the only girl in the house for a long ass time. Like my mama, like I said, choosing me, that's like a big thing for me. I'm afraid of being overlooked. Like I'm afraid of being overlooked.
Nobody's seeing you.
Nobody's seeing me. So in my head, shit, I'm getting around all these people and shit. I also put a guard up and I'm like, yeah, I'm this tough ass bitch. This and this down from Memphis, Tennessee. But I feel like that shit all came back to how I was raised and trauma that I needed to heal from when I was raised. Like I said, even in relationships. Like when somebody choosing the next bitch over me, like, and that shit taking me on through the, I'm finna damn near die, cause I finna die. I'm finna damn near lose my fucking mind because this bitch done chose the next bitch over me. Yeah. But in our reality, it's fucking life. Like I should be able to comfortably be cool with the next motherfucker choosing the next motherfucker over me. But that shit just come back from I've dealt with it my whole life, or I feel like I've dealt with it my whole life, or I feel like I've been overlooked my whole life. So that shit be like, damn.
It really, you really, like when you get in certain situations, you just really think back to everything that happened in your life, and you gonna always touch on childhood.
Yes.
I feel like it always rolled back to, this is how I felt when I was a kid. Yeah. Like I didn't feel seen. I didn't feel like nobody cared about me. I felt like everybody would choose somebody else before me. And now you making me feel like this?
Yeah.
And you said you love me?
Yeah, and sometimes you take those relationships and those friendships to bring that shit to your attention. Like, damn, so what really is the problem? But you also got to get in the space to where you ready to be like, okay, so I do have a problem. Yes. And let me figure out what the fuck it is and where it came from.
Acknowledgement.
And most of it come back from what was instilled in us as a child, like being silenced as a child, or not feeling like we can't talk as black children, shit like that. So that all boils back to what was instilled in us as black kids growing up, you know what I'm saying? And we got to get to a point as black people where we healing from that shit, and when we having children and we breaking those generational curses. I also wanted to touch on, okay, so y'all can't blow up my comments about this one. So how many of y'all, or our parents tell us, like, basically in so many words, that we cut off at 18? You know what I'm saying? Like, parents literally, black parents specifically, literally think the guy that stop at 18. Like, oh, well, she 18 and I ain't got to but when you turn 18, you'll be able to get out of my house and this and this and that. Like, what the fuck? I need you at 18. Like, and I didn't notice that until I personally experienced that shit. Like, that's when I needed my parents the most.
Girl, I definitely can agree to that. And I feel that because I feel like now as an adult, I feel like I always had this independent mindset because I was forced to. I feel like as a kid, I would never want to say I was independent. Like, I was forced to be independent because I didn't have that, like, how do I say it? Like, I didn't have that all around nurturing all the time. Like, it was more so like, figure it out for yourself. Like, you smart. So, like, as I became an adult, I'm like, dang, why do I not have this connection that I see other people have with their guardians? Like, I want to be able to call my guardian up and, girl, I'm finna go look for an apartment. Like, what should I be looking for? Like, I need a car. Like, what should I be looking for? Or I just got my heart broken. Like, what should I do? Like, it's situations like that and topics like that and emotions that we go through like that we're kind of looking for somebody to be there for us. And that's how we can get in the wrong hands too. But I feel like it all goes back to childhood trauma of not being seen. It leads to abandonment issues.
Yes.
It's a full circle.
It's a full fucking circle. And I feel like specifically about the 18 thing, we get out there at 18, right? Parents feel like they can cut us off at 18 or feel like they can do less. So if that make y'all, you know, some parents feel better do less because I'm 18, but want to bash us for the mistakes that we made or when we fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh, you shouldn't have and you knew better. No, the fuck I didn't. You might have thought I knew fucking better, but obviously I didn't because I didn't do better. Like, always bashing it, but your guidance stopped there. Had you been on the phone with me, I probably wouldn't have did that. You know what I'm saying? Had you picked up when I called you, I probably wouldn't have did that. You know what I'm saying? So, to parents that's watching this, like my mama age and shit like that, or if you have a daughter or a son around my age, just, you know what I'm saying, talk to them and see if you put out some of their trauma on them or see how they feel about being cut off at 18. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that kind of fucked me up a lot. Like, going to college and not fully having my mama understand or having my family understand or just not talk to me regularly or me just going to a different state and needing them. Like, that
don't come visit.
Yeah, that like fucked me up. That fucked me up, and I had to figure a lot of shit out for myself. Like, and I'm just not noticing. Like, half of that shit I probably was going through, and half of those angers and those emotions that I was feeling probably came from because I ain't had nobody. Or I feel like my guidance stopped. Like, I'm out here on my own. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know for a fact when I first got to college, it was like 2 people that I would call. It was either my auntie or my sister, my big sister. Yeah, big sister gonna always be around. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I feel like parents gotta stop thinking that guidance stop at 18.
Yeah, and I also feel like as an adult, I feel like now I can call my cousin. We can have like those bestie type of conversations because I feel like the relationship got a lot better now that I'm an adult. But I want it to continue to grow. Like, I want a relationship with you. Like, I want to be able to call you for more than just what I'm calling you for, you know? Like, I want you around. I want you in my life. I want you active in my life. Like, be an active parent. If I need guidance, I want to know that I can always go to you no matter what. I don't care how, I could be 35, 56. I want my mama, you know, I want my guardian.
And let's just be real, white people don't cut their kids off.
No, they don't.
They do not cut their kids off. They going full throttle with their kids, helping them pick out their fiance, pick out shit. Like, they there the whole time. And a lot of black people don't try to argue with me, well, it's the finances and this and that. You can just be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand y'all did the best y'all could in so many ways, but you can just be there.
Be present.
And to back to what you said, so I got a question. You had said, like y'all got kind of like this bestie like relationship, and I feel the same thing with my mama too. And I know a lot of black people experience that. Like, when you get to a certain age, now you and your mom can talk about everything. Yeah. But when shit was hard, y'all really wasn't talking. Do you feel like that, like, parents kind of like avoid that phase of your life?
Yeah, I feel like I know for sure. My cousin, she told me, like, when I was in college and stuff, when I went off to college, like, it was hard for her to see me go away, but she never communicated that to me. Like, it was hard for me too. I was crying. But I also feel like they have this idea in their mind, like, oh, they think they grown now, I can't tell them nothing. No, you can really tell me everything, but you need to be there as a parent for guidance. I feel like parents get mad at you if you don't choose what they want you to choose. It's like, it's my life at the end of the day. Just be there for me. If I make a mistake, be there. If I fall and scrape my knee, be there.
Tell me what I can do.
You know, like, that's what I need you around for. I don't need you to dictate my future because I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna make my own choices. But I do feel like they really avoid that time period so they won't have to deal with, oh, you got an attitude, or they think they too grown, so I don't got time for that. Right. That's dumb.
And then be quick to throw up in your motherfucking face. Well, I've been on this earth 47 years. Well, show me.
Help me,
because you ain't been guided 47 years. Right? You know what I'm saying?
You ignore me?
Like, okay, y'all, we're back. Sorry about that. I think we left off at basically just saying, you know, in a nutshell, we got to do better as black people. Like, not we, because we don't have children, but how we raise our children as black people got to get better. Like, we got to talk to our kids more. We got to see what's going on. Stop shutting them out when they trying to communicate with you. Like, I know for a fact, I see a lot of black people just pop their children. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, your ass knew better and this, and the kids be looking crazy as hell. Like, what the fuck did I do? Like, communication and tell what I did wrong. Don't just hit me. Like, and my mama never did that growing up. She always let us know what we did wrong. But I see it so often. Like, we gotta do better. We really do.
Popped a million times.
And no explanation, no nothing.
No, because it's kind of like, I feel like to a certain extent, like parents have this mindset of like, I'm the adult. I can do what I want to do to you. Right. You don't question me. And it's like, that's abusive. Like, yes. That's abuse to just fucking hit me. That's abusive. To verbally abuse me, call me names. Like, that sticks with a kid. I promise you, I can think back to every name that I've been called. Every time I probably didn't got hit when I really didn't do nothing. I didn't get a chance to explain myself because I already knew you was going to say, stay in the child's place. Like, yes. It goes on and on. But yes, that's abuse.
Yes, and we really got to do better as black people. Like, and don't get me wrong, it's so many good parents out there, guardian. Like, it's so many people doing what they need to do. And it's no shade to, our parents, or, the people that raised us. It's just, we got to acknowledge that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we definitely have to acknowledge that shit and do better. Like, seriously. Yes. So, another topic is parents not properly apologizing to our children. So, like, parents not properly apologizing to kids. So, I'm pretty sure we all got an apology by being asked to, like, go somewhere or just coming in and acting like ain't shit happened.
That's exactly how they apologize. I know for sure mine was, put your shoes on, let's go to the store.
Everybody was,
I don't want to go to the store.
Girl, my mama used to come to the store. You going to the store? You say that? No, I'm mad.
And I used to go to that store every time.
Yeah, get a couple snacks, but I'm still mad.
I'm mad.
But no, like, even in that, like, properly apologizing to your kids can go a long way. Because I want to know, being in a relationship, I always wonder, right, like, I never forgive a motherfucker for real. Like, I'd be like, you saying you sorry, but whatever. Like,
you gonna do it again.
You gonna do it again. Me thinking that shit not genuine, but that's because my mama never really properly apologized to me. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how to take an apology. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know how to take a fucking apology because I was never properly apologized to.
Yep. Like, and it get to the point where you also will find yourself stuck on apologizing when you done somebody wrong. Like, I feel like that's another thing. We come face to face with people who have healed, and we look in the mirror like, damn, this person can really communicate. This person is bringing something healthy to the table. Why can't I do the same? Because if somebody apologizing to you and they're articulating why you hurt their feelings or whatever the case may be, if you haven't been in a healthy environment where you giving an apology and you receive one back, it's like, I'm not trying to hear that. Or you get stuck, or your actions is just different. Like, I know for sure it wasn't hard for me to apologize, but it was hard for me to express myself. Although I was sorry, I didn't know how to just tell somebody I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean that. It was more so I just shut them out. I will literally don't start. I ain't gonna start on this show. Yeah, like, I didn't know how to say, you know what, you hurt my feelings. Oh, I hate telling people I used to. I used to hate telling people they hurt my feelings because it made me feel like you got me to a place where you made me feel a type of way. I don't like that.
It make you feel real vulnerable, but that's because we're not used to it. We don't grow up in households where we can really just genuinely express ourselves. And you gotta think about it, white people, they over-express. Well, how did you feel, Billy? How did you feel, Tom? And the kids be just dry ass taking advantage of that shit. Because I'm not racist or nothing. You know what I'm saying? This is a black podcast, so we gonna talk our shit. Welcome to Unpopular Opinion. But I feel like we really didn't have no space to where we can really express ourselves. Like I said, I feel like white people, kids kind of take advantage of that shit. I wish my mama came in the room like, okay, so what could I have said better? Yes. Or what really hurt your feelings? Or what made you act up like that?
Yes.
Where did you get that from? Where did you see it? Like, and we wonder why a lot of shit be happening in the household, under parents' nose, and molestation and shit like that, because you're not communicating with your children. You're too busy shutting them out. Parents are not parenting anymore. Mm-hmm. They half-assing the shit. They get lazy, have so many kids, towards the end you don't want to do shit. Like, you have to be a parent. That's what you chose to do.
And I feel like a lot of times, like, fear come into place in that, and it's like because they haven't dealt with their own issues, it's like now my kid is going through something that I really don't know how to address, so I'm just gonna avoid it.
Right.
Like avoidance is a big thing. Like they always, it's this thing like your attachment style and things like that. So I was doing mines, and I have an avoidant type of attachment style. Like when something goes wrong, I disappear. Like I don't want to talk.
Really?
Girl, I would ignore somebody in a heartbeat, and that's so crazy because I be hurt on the inside. I be wanting to reach out.
I want to know more about that because it's crazy. I feel like I'm the total opposite. When something happened, I'm a pusher. Like I want you to hear me out. I want you to listen to me. Like, but no, listen. Let's talk right now. And I don't want to talk later. Let's talk right now. But I feel like that comes from how I grew up. Like I never felt like I was fucking really just listened to. I always felt like I was avoided. The conversations never happened. So I feel like it can go both ways.
That's crazy,
shit, you know?
Because that's how I feel. I feel like that's why I'm the way, because I know for sure if I had something to say, I wasn't going to be able to say it, so I'm not going to waste my time. And I feel like that's why. Like, I'll just dip out. Like, you probably don't want to have a conversation, so I'm not finna bother you. I'm not finna make you feel a type of way. I just leave.
Yeah, and I feel like that just, like, I'm very outspoken, so I'm going to say what the fuck I got to say. But I feel like out of my mama children, like my sister was gone. I had two big brothers. They was really just not catching up. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they really didn't catch what I caught with my mama. Like how I felt with my mama. Like I didn't catch. Like she wasn't a bad parent. I ain't have bad stuff running in and out the house. Thank God. But my little brother cried. I was the more outspoken one. So I feel like when I wanted to express myself to my mama, when I wanted to get closer to my mama and talk, I feel like she was kind of like avoiding it. Yeah. And like you said, she could still been learning or going through something on her own or in herself. And I feel like parents do that shit too. Like when they go through a depression or something like that, oh, you feeling it. You getting shut down too. Like
that's so true.
Well, go ahead, go do that. But parents, you can't stop parenting. Like you just can't. Like that is the life that you chose and that's what you had to do. And that's what comes with being a parent. You can't half-ass it, because whether y'all think we notice it or not, we do.
We do.
And I didn't notice it until now. Like, okay, maybe my mom was just depressed during that time. Like, damn. Okay, I understand it now that I experienced depression, but I still really wish you still would have been there.
Or like, it all comes back to communication. Because I feel like same with my cousin. Like, when I went off to college, it was so hard. Like, and she probably don't even know, but she had expressed to me like she was depressed when I left. Right. And I was like, you could have just said that, because I was sad. Like, I was really sad. You really didn't talk to me when I left. You kind of avoided me. Like, you didn't say nothing. Girl, we barely talked to each other. I was in school, like, what did I do? Right. Like, and I'm avoided because I'm be like, I don't know what I did. Maybe I did something. She don't want to have a conversation. She didn't address it. But she was depressed. And I just feel like if she really would have sat down and, even the slightest, look, Elisa, I don't know what this is, but I'm sad.
Right.
I know our relationship would have been a lot better quicker.
And it'll make you feel better. I feel like parents, you gotta express how you feel too. Like you don't have to. It goes both ways. Like you said, communication would literally bridge the gap between parents and kids. Yeah. Like just communicate. Like that'll for sure bridge the gap. Yes. And I want to touch on a little briefly, like about parents kind of in a way feeling like you owe them something. Like not to say like you owe them something,
entitlement.
Yeah, like a little entitlement. Like parents got this entitlement about themselves when you get older. Now I'm speaking on when you get older, not about like childhood trauma and shit. They kind of feel like you kind of owe them something. And I don't know where it came from or what is it, but let's just give an example. Yeah. So like, say for instance, this parent moves in with, their daughter or something like that. And the daughter got niggas running in and out the house, and it comes to a point where the daughter has to choose between the mother and the dudes that's running in and out the house. And the daughter basically choose the dudes and the mama, well, I'm your mama and I raised you for this and this and this years, and she kind of throwing it up in your face and you going this and this. Okay, you raised me for those amount of years, but this is my life and this is what I gotta do. Or like when you get a chunk of money, for example. And now that you've grown, you making your own money, and your parents feel like you gotta
tell them what they're making.
You're supposed to tell them what you're making. Oh, this is my salary, and I'm supposed to. A lot of parents do that. I haven't experienced that. My mama ain't like that, but I see it a lot. Like I said, with my friendships and shit like that. Like the entitlement has to stop because I'm grown now. I want to get to a point where I'm like, come on, this for all the years you raised me, or allow your children to do something for you instead of just having so much hostility to where you like, well, you ain't gonna give me nothing, or you didn't give me this, like.
I definitely feel like patience is key. And I feel like a lot of parents, they may get to a point where they're like, dang, they forgot about me. Like, I put in X amount of years, I stopped my life to raise you, and now that you're getting money, you forgot about me. And honestly, that may not be the case. Like a lot of things now, we're trying to build. Like, we're not just trying to mess up some thousands. Like, we trying to build on it. So it's like, mama's like, chill out. Like, I got you, but I'm trying to make sure that whatever I get is like sustainable. Like, if I'm getting a house, if I got some money to buy a house, I want to make sure you good. Like, I don't want to be breaking you off no money and it's going to waste. I feel like they just have to have the mindset of like, my kid gonna take care of you. My kid gonna double back and make sure I'm good. They just getting their life together now. Things is not cheap, baby. The money that we making is barely enough.
Right.
It's barely enough. So, yeah.
And I feel like my favorite rapper touched on it in the song. Like, Youngboy had said in the song, he was just saying he had just started coming up. And he's like, his mom was basically like getting mad because he wasn't throwing her no money. But he like, I swear for Christmas I'm going to buy you a home. Like, just give me a little time. Basically what he was saying. Like, I'm trying to run this shit up. I can't blow my bag as soon as I get it type shit.
Yeah.
Like, be patient with your children and stop feeling so entitled to things, especially being that we dealt with all this shit with you guys. Like, y'all was growing and y'all were still learning, but we at the end of the day we still had to deal with that shit, and we still deal with that shit right now, like to this fucking day. Like I said, in relationships, that's what really helped me acknowledge, like, okay, maybe I am doing this, or maybe I do have a problem with this, like, but where did the fuck did it come from? Like, childhood. Like, so it came from our childhood, and I just want to speak to like people out there, like, get that shit together. As Black people, we really got to get that shit together. We got to start from within. We always want to holler out Black Lives Matter and this and that, but we ain't fixing our household. Everybody out of place, boys out of place, men out of place. Like, we got to do better as parents. Like, it start at home. It does. It started at home, and we still fight those morals and that shit where we Black and that's just how you are, or that's just how you are. We, and that's not right. That shit. Like, that's not right at all. Even for men, like, I'm not a boy, I can't speak for boys and men or whatever like that, but the whole thing with they can't cry, or it's not, men can't cry, they ain't supposed to cry, that nigga soft, he this and that. Like, what the fuck? He can't show, men can't show emotions. And it's so crazy because, like, it starts at home. Yes. Like, it starts at home. And I know for dudes, like, I've experienced conversations with dudes who talked about, like, they rather not be emotional. They rather not express their feelings because it's a sign of weakness. My mama told me don't cry. And it's like, at the end of the day, if you take gender out of it, you're still a human with emotions. Like, we're speaking from being a human. We're not speaking from being a male or a female. You got emotions that you got to deal with at the end of the day, and that's what messed them up the most. Yes. And I feel like if you are in a household with your parents and they're telling you not to cry, that's just messed up. Yes. Like, it's going to mess you up in the long run. You're not going to know how to be in a relationship. You're not going to know how to sustain your friendships. Yes. You always going to be forced to, damn, I can't express myself. Why I can't express myself? Yes, and I've literally seen, like, mamas or fathers hit their damn child, they son, crying, and they crying and stop fucking crying. You a boy. You just popped the shit out of him. Like, what do you mean? And I'm a strong believer in spare the rod, spoil the child. Mm-hmm. But Black people, we got a thin ass line from spare the rod and abuse. Like, y'all ass starting to abuse. Like, that shit, physically, verbally, mentally, like, man, we have to do better, because men having that mindset of where they can't express their emotions, or they gotta be this tough ass creature, that's like fucked up. And I feel like even if you go back to the Bible, like, yes, the man is supposed to be the rock of the household and the head of the household, but that don't mean the man don't have emotions and can't cry. What the hell? I'm mad. You can be vulnerable. I'm happy. Like, I'm like, but that's really, that's how it feels. Like, I gotta be this tough ass thing. Like, no, nobody wants that. No, but I just want to say, like, with all this being said, because this shit can go on for hours. We can talk about this shit for hours. Like, literally.
No, just playing.
hours and hours. But we can really talk about it for hours. But I just want to end on a more positive note. Like, there are good parents out there. Like, I've seen, like, especially being so young and raising children, like, personally, my friends, Jasmine, girl, you a good mama.
I know that's right, Jasmine.
Amber, girl. Daphne, Markira, my best friend, y'all doing y'all shit. Like, Deja, I love to see it. Like, it's parents that's parenting out there, you know, already, and, you know, fresh having babies, you can tell, like, you see the bond and the love. So, it's good parents out there. I just want us to understand, like, our parents are still learning too. Like, it's a learning experience. Like, don't take this podcast and be like sending that shit to your mama like, well, I told you it. Still was learning. So if a parent watching this or something like that, somebody my mama age or anything like that, and you feel like some of your spirit like, damn, maybe I did that. Why they attacking me type shit? Don't take it as that. We understand that y'all was still learning and shit like that, but the thing is, we gotta get to a point where we breaking those curses and learning from it. Even if from now, like, my mama called me and be like, I seen your podcast, this and that. Like, how did you? That's the step to breaking those curses and shit that we had to deal with that was instilled with us growing up.
Yeah, and also for the parents, like, I know sometimes it's hard to be vulnerable. Like, you know, your mom or your dad maybe never gave you that space to do so, but like, I feel like this is also an opportunity for the parents to be able to really look inside themselves and give like a deeper dive and be like, dang, maybe I do have childhood trauma. Maybe there is something that's going on. And also at the end of the day, with everybody, give yourself grace. Like, we're only human. We have no guide to this. Like, we going off of what we going off, you know? So if we could bridge the gap between parents and kids and have that better bond and communication and just a overall softer environment for both ends, I feel like that'd be a lot better.
Yes, because we already deal with a lot of shit being black at home. Like, parents gotta understand. Parents gotta understand you're still superior. I'm not taking that seniority away from you. Like, you're always gonna be my superior. You're always gonna be the authority. Like, so being vulnerable with your children, let your children know where you coming from, ain't gonna take that away.
It's gonna enhance the
relationship. You will feel better. That'll feel, like you said, it will be a lighter like environment. Yes. And as black people, we gotta start making shit easier for ourselves instead of hard. We already fighting we fight so many wars as black people. Like, we fighting color wars, spiritual wars. Like, we literally in war. Crisis. Like, identity crisis. We fight so much shit. Being a black person as a whole, we gotta make this shit easier on ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, acknowledge those shits. Let's get out here and change this shit. Cause for people our age, it's okay to recognize those things and to want to work on yourself. Like, you shouldn't want to still be in a comfortable situation. Like, you shouldn't want to still be going off or flipping off on your significant other or shutting people out or bouncing from this person to that person and thinking that shit okay. Look within and see what the fuck is wrong with you, because
and figure it out
because you gotta get some point where what the fuck you gonna do that shit for the rest of your fucking life?
Like, if you don't get tired,
don't get fucking tired of using people, bouncing between people, trying to figure out why you so fucking mad, fighting all this other shit. We gotta get to a point at our age where we want to do better for our fucking self. Like, we want a different life.
That's a great point, because also, like, at the end of the day, like, we do have childhood trauma. We not gonna neglect that. But when you get to a certain age, it's your responsibility to fix yourself. It's your responsibility to take accountability for how you are behaving with other people. If you don't want to do the self-work, leave people alone. Stay in your bubble. Like, you know, like, but don't come over into nobody else's space and put off negative energy because you're fighting a war within yourself. Look within, see what's going on, have that talk with your parents. If it is childhood trauma, or it could just be other trauma. It don't necessarily have to be childhood trauma, but we all know that it stems from the household majority of the time. But you have to take accountability for your actions when you get to a certain age. Like, we can identify, mama, you kind of made me feel this way, but now that I'm acknowledging it, what am I going to do about it?
What am I going to do to change that shit? What am I going to do to fix it? And like I said, at our age, we got to stop being comfortable. Like, I see so many people that's just comfortable with how they is, or do some shit that's comfortable for them. Like, damn, you don't want to be challenged. Like, you don't want to elevate. You don't want to grow. And I feel like Steve Harvey said it best. Like, if you are comfortable, you not elevating. Like, if you're uncomfortable, you doing something right.
You
like
sure is.
you finna get ready to touch success. Like you figuring yourself out, and we just want to do better as a whole. Like like that's really what it is.
I agree.
We gotta do better as a whole. And I really think that's all I had for the podcast. Like, you know, the little topics that we can briefly touch on, because this shit can go for hours, but we at our 3-minute mark. So,
damn.
Yeah, that whole went fast. But yeah, like, let's just do better. Like, to the parents watching this shit, real shit, like, talk to your children. Whether you feel like they old, they could be 30 years old. Ask them, get to know them. Like, and I hope this, or a snippet of this, at least go viral so that somebody can see it. Because I feel like we really do gotta heal.
Yes.
We gotta heal. Even parents, like, we really gotta heal. So if you ain't take shit away from this podcast, just know, like, we gotta do better.
Heal and give yourself some grace. Don't be too hard on yourself, but take the steps. It's necessary. You'll feel a lot better.
Yeah, because we got too much other shit we fight.
Hello. And I'm tired of life fighting me.
I was like, whooping my ass.
It threw me against the tree, y'all. I'm serious.
Alright, y'all. We at a mark of the podcast, so we gonna wrap it up right here. Do you got a Instagram, you know, TikTok, anything you want to shout out so the people can follow you?
No, I have no social media right now, but you will see me again.
I for sure see her again. So yeah, that's it with this podcast. My social medias and how you guys can stay connected with me is in my intro video. And yeah, that's the end of this episode. Thank you for watching Unpopular Opinion. And yeah, tune in next time for the next episode. I got something juicy for you guys with another special guest. See ya.
Bye.